What's going on? Welcome back to another episode of The Mortgage Mindset. I'm your host, Trevor Otsuka. I am a licensed mortgage advisor with Barrett Financial Group. I lend on commercial, residential, and private money for fix and flip. Welcome back. Glad to have you. Hope you guys had an awesome week. We're going to dive right in here and jump in for a solo show. Today's mortgage interest rates on January the 23rd of 2025. It's Thursday. 30-year conventional, you're looking at 7.12%. 15-year fixed at 6.52%. 30-year jumbo is sitting at 7.3%. And then FHA and VA are sitting right around 6.55%. Let's talk about econ data. So for this week, we had inauguration day that happened on Monday. And then also the markets were closed because it was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Then we had jobless claims that came in today. And then we also have S&P Global Services PMI that will be released tomorrow at 6:45 in the morning. For next week, Fed interest rate decision coming up on Wednesday, January the 29th. So projections are that they will do no change in interest rates for the federal funds rate on the next interest rate decision, which will be this coming Wednesday, the 29th. That'll be immediately followed by a Fed press conference 30 minutes later, where we'll hear Jerome Powell talk about market predictions and what's going to happen in the next quarter. That following Friday next week, you have core PCE, which is a huge measure of inflation. That'll be month over month for December. And then you also have employment costs for quarter 4 of last year. Those are both coming out next Friday, which is the last day of the month. Some potential to move the market this upcoming week. For this week's news article headline, this is going to be from Housing Wire. Since it was inauguration week, I figure we might as well talk a little bit about some of the executive orders and Trump's econ policy and the things that he's looking to do. So here is the title from Housing Wire. It says, Trump issues executive order, emergency price relief on housing. So let's dive into this one a little bit. Point number one is that the executive order on housing relief, President Trump issued an executive order prioritizing emergency price relief for housing, aiming to reduce regulatory costs that reportedly account for 25% of new home construction expenses. This initiative seeks to lower housing prices and expand supply, offering potential relief for affordability issues. Impact of new leadership at HUD and FHA. Trump's new HUD Secretary nominee, Scott Turner, plans to streamline the HUD's budget and eliminate inefficiencies, while FHFA nominee Bill Pulte brings home building expertise to the table. These appointments could signal a push for pro-industry policies aimed at boosting housing development and liquidity. Bill Pulte of Pulte Homes is a huge developer of stick-built homes. They have a lot of communities here in Las Vegas that they build on. So him going in and being really the nominee to run the Federal Housing and Finance Administration, I think is kind of a big deal. And then Secretary nominee of Scott Turner, I'm not really even sure who Scott Turner is, so I would have to look him up to get a little bit more information on him. But we'll see. We'll see what these are going to do, if they are really pro-industry policies for home building and boosting housing development. The biggest thing that is happening in Las Vegas is that majority of the land here is actually owned by the government, by Bureau of Land Management. More than 60% of the land in the Las Vegas Valley is not privately owned. It's owned by the government. So we would need that land to be released to private entities so that they could purchase it and then they could develop homes on that land, right? And that's really the only way that I could see supply improving in the valley, but who knows? We'll see. I mean, we're almost landlocked at this point with building out into the valley walls, and eventually we're going to have to start building up. So we'll see when that happens. Point number 3 is the potential tariffs and home building costs. Proposed tariffs on goods from Canada, Mexico, and China could raise costs for home builders, particularly if lumber tariffs return. Historically, such tariffs have added thousands to the cost of building a single-family home, which could have ripple effects on the housing market. So interesting that he's trying to do an executive order to issue housing relief by reducing regulatory costs. But then on the flip side, by imposing tariffs, it could cost more money for the builders to actually get their supplies. So I'm wondering what the difference between the two of that is. You know, is the tariff going to increase the cost of the building goods by 10%, but then you also have a 25% reduction on the front end in how much it costs to get all of your regulatory approval to build. So we'll see. I don't know. We're going to have to take a look at this a little bit deeper. He did just take office this week. I would like to give him approximately 90 days to see how his economic policies and the things that he's doing are making their way through the inflation data that we are looking at. So we will see. I'll keep you guys posted. I'll probably do maybe like once a month. I'll do an article that's specifically related to the econ policy for the new president, Donald Trump. So thank you guys. I hope you had a good time checking out the show. It's 6 minutes, so super quick, in, out, and we will see you guys next week. Peace.